I searched for the darkest Lethal Company secrets. From the explorers who were killed to the monster we feed, we're diving today into the lore. Let's get back to those explorers and we're gonna rewind to 1968. Our spaceship was once home to a brave crew, Richard, Desmond, Jess, and Sigurd. These weren't just any explorers, they were the first to stumble upon the eerie truth. But here's the twist. They vanished into thin air. Why? They knew too much. When you look at the records from their spaceship, it's like hearing voices from a long time ago. There's one record from September 30th, 1968 that's really spooky. It talks about the things that the crew forgot, like how they ended up in space and saying goodbye to their families. It's as if someone erased their memories. In fact, one crew member writes about forgotten memories, how they got there, their final goodbye to dad, all a blank. But it gets even stranger. The crew started to think that the Lethal Company was up to no good, not hiding, but just playing a scary game. They started to realize, in doubt, if the messages and calls were real or fake. Crew members from 1968 started to wonder, was this real or was this a scary dream they couldn't wake up from? Who was truly the company they were working for, and was everything they knew a lie? One of the crew, Sigurd, wrote a nightmare about where a monster got him. He believed that they were feeding this monster without knowing it. Imagine a monster hiding and you're helping it, but you can't see it. This made the whole crew really worried and confused. They couldn't tell what was real, and they couldn't tell what was fake. They felt trapped in a strange situation where they couldn't trust anything except each other. The biggest mystery is what happened to them. Did they ever get back home, or are they still lost, caught by the dark plans of the Lethal Company? The last things they wrote don't give us the answer. It looks like they ended up trapped with no memory and had only one thing to do: try and survive in a really scary and dangerous situation. These crew logs are all we know about what happened to the past. It's possible we were abducted by aliens and forced to be their slaves, or it's a bad dream in the game. Either way, all we know is we have to survive. In Lethal Company, one of the scariest ways to die is being attacked by a baboon hawk. Picture this, a terrifying bird that can stab you, just like putting meat on a stick for cooking, and there's no way you can survive it. It's even scarier because these birds like to eat your heart as if it's a special treat. And they usually attack in groups, so if they get you, a bunch of them will be there to eat you right all up. Now, let's talk about something a little bit nicer. Like many people, I want to retire with lots of money. In Lethal Company, a great way to make money is by going to a moon called Titan. Titan is really rough to deal with. It's the hardest place you can go to, but it's also where you can make the most money. Titan is full of dangers. Scary creatures show up there sooner than in other places, and there's not much room to move around. But if you're brave enough to go there, you can find lots of valuable stuff. You can get lots of scrap parts and other treasures on Titan. That's why people who are okay with taking big risks go there hoping to make a lot of money. So there are scary things in Lethal Company like Baboon Hawk. There are also chances to get rich, especially if you dare go to places like Titan. But the darkness lies. Is it worth it to get rich and to risk your life on a moon so awful? Titan's creatures are scary, and some of them have deep, troubled pasts. Let's talk about it. In the game, the most terrifying creature is definitely the Jester. It's a weird and scary thing that looks like the Jack-in-the-Box toy, but much scarier. Even the game's records don't have much information about it. Here's what we do know about the Jester. When it's done winding up, its top opens and a huge skull on a stretchy piece of flesh comes out. It looks for the nearest player and starts moving really fast, faster than a player can run. If it catches up to you, you're gone. It's game over right away. See, you can't outrun it or hide it. The only way to be safe is to leave the area completely. If you're stuck with this creature, you better say your prayers. This is one of the most cruel ways you can die in game. You're forced to accept your fate, killed by the uncanny music, and once you hear it, there's no running from the pain. There's also no running from our last and final creature we'll go over, which is the Ghost Girl, and a shocking theory behind her that you may not expect. The Ghost Girl in Lethal Company might be more than just a scary figure. She could be a clever trick played by the game to scare the crew. Here's a simple theory. What if the girl can mimic or look like family members of the crew who died? This would make her really scary and personal for each crew member. This could also be why the Ghost Girl is so effective at scaring the crew. She doesn't just look like a random ghost. She looks like someone that each crew member misses and feels sad about. This makes her not just a regular enemy, but someone who messes with their minds and feelings. It's a smart way for the game in theory to make the Ghost Girl one of the scariest things in Lethal Company. Thank you for sitting with me with our dark secrets, and stay tuned for our next video.